Hey y'all, my name is Caitt and I'm going to get right into this video. It's a 10-minute anxiety talk, and I would just like to say that I have finished my spring semester at my university, and this was the most challenging semester of college that I have ever had. I'd say it's probably comparable to 8th grade, which for some reason 8th grade was harder than high school. I'm not really sure why, but any of my other semesters at college they've obviously been tough, but they haven't been this difficult. Now, I did pass all my classes. I got A's in every one except for one, and that was the one that I was most worried about. And I think the reason for that, obviously this is an anxiety talk, so that class was in person for exams, and I'm already not a very good test taker, and although I do have, obviously I have like accommodations for my anxiety at my university, so if I do need to like leave the room to just breathe, like calm down, if I'm getting anxious or if I'm having a panic attack or something, I'm allowed to leave the room. But for some reason, taking those accommodations is, like, I'd rather stay in the room. I'd rather not have to leave the class. And these tests, they were a little long, like on the longer side. So the first one, which is actually the one I did the best on, I felt pretty calm taking the test. I didn't get to finish it because it was so long, but my anxiety wasn't really affecting how I was doing on the test. Like, it wasn't distracting me because I wasn't like anxious during that test. But for the other ones, I was having pretty like anxious days, so I did worse on those than I did on the first test when I wasn't anxious, because I kind of had to, like, in the middle of the test, try to calm myself down. And obviously, like I said, I had like the accommodations to be able to leave the room. And also, if you have anxiety and you go to a university or just any school, if you talk to like your guidance counselor, you should be able to get accommodations where, like, if you're anxious or if you're having a panic attack, you could like go to the nurse, or just like they should be, or go to the guidance counselor to just talk it out, or just like to breathe and leave the room. Obviously schools are online now, but if you do have like in-person classes, then, or if you are somewhere where you can be in person in school, there should be like ways to help you out, to give you the best experience and to let you succeed. And for some reason, I just didn't want to take the accommodation. I think I just wanted to, because I knew how like the first test, when I wasn't anxious, I didn't finish. So I was kind of like, I have to stay. But then also, I feel like if I had left the room, I don't know if I would have had like the courage to go back in and finish the test. Just because there was so much information on each test. So, and I tend to think to the future. I don't know if I've said this in a previous video, but when I think towards the future, that kind of helps with my anxiety, because I know I'm working towards this goal, and it's like the goal that I have is something like really big picture. And sometimes just thinking about those steps to reach that big goal, each step seems more important. So that can also kind of bring some anxiety, because it's like, to reach this big goal, obviously there's a bunch of little steps to get there, but the first like tiny little step is like pass this test, get a good grade on this test, pass the class, do good the entire semester, graduate, everything, you know what I mean? But like little tiny steps, as in like, get this question right on the test. And if you do that, you'll be one step closer to reaching that big goal. So those little steps become much more important to you. And if I think to the future, it usually helps. But then sometimes I'm like, this step is part of getting there. So it just puts more weight onto whatever that like step is that you're on right now. So I think that kind of messed with me a little bit, because I knew that like this class was very difficult for me, so it was kind of like, if it kind of put like the weight on that test, as in like, if I don't pass this test, I'm not going to reach that big goal, which obviously isn't like necessarily the case, but just like with my anxiety at that point, it was like, that's it. So I think I just put too much weight on the tests and everything, and I could have just taken a step outside of the room to breathe. And I had my anxiety kit with me, which I was using, but I think just how much weight I was putting on these tests messed me up. So I did have to take a few moments during the test to kind of try to calm myself down, but like in the room, even though I could have left, I stayed in the room. So obviously things to learn from for the next semester. I don't really know what else to say for this anxiety talk. Because other than like taking those tests, if I was just going to like in-person class, fine, perfectly fine. It was just during the test, so I think I just have to learn to like put less weight on the test so that my mind can actually be free and clear to think. Like I said, the test, there was a lot of information on the test, so even if I was thinking correctly, like during how I did on the first test, that was the test I did the best on because I could actually focus, but there was so much information there that I wasn't able to finish the test. So yeah, but I finished that semester, and I'm looking forward to the next semester that I have and to the summer. Because my anxiety, I think the only other time I've had anxiety is actually like when I've had my periods and I've had to go somewhere, like if I had to go to work or to school, because for some reason, and I haven't talked about this in much detail yet, for some reason I was doing fine on my periods. I wasn't having any like major cramps that would like keep me in bed for a week, but like the recent ones that I've had have been like that. So I just put like stress on myself, like, hey, you have to go to work, you have to go to school, and then I don't end up going because I end up stressing myself out and making myself feel even sicker than I already do. I have just about 30 seconds left, and yeah, but I've said in the past, like, when my body isn't feeling good, like physically 100%, then my mind isn't feeling. That's why I have like up here it says when recovering physically, you must then recover mentally, up on my wall in my notes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe to notify whenever I upload and to see more of these videos, and see ya!